Hey, good morning. Let's go over today's trade plan. So in the overnight session, we saw responsive sellers active at the 37 to 39 resistance area, which was quite normal because we had already been quite exhausted into it. And from there, the market balanced and found buyers on the pullback towards 20.5 to 23. So we'll be using that area as the initial support zone. Heading into the open, if the market is holding above 28 to 30, that would just confirm the bullishness that we saw in yesterday's session. Overall, we know that the market is still balancing within a range and it is setting up for a directional move. Until we actually get the breakout, it is still stuck in a range, but within that range, the buy side is more dominant. And off the open today, we're just going to be looking for underlying signs that support that idea. So unless we're seeing some very clear-cut weakness, we will give buyers the edge above 28 to 30 and above 20.5 to 23. On the upside, we have resistance at 36.75 to 39, followed by 42 to 44. And this is really the larger time frame balance area high. And in order to break out above 42 to 44, we would have to see some strong upside momentum, broad market strength, and participation from the other markets. And along with that, we also want to see some pretty decent volume can come into the market. And so far the volume has been pretty decent overnight, and we just want to see a continuation of that theme if we're going to get a sustained move to the upside. But like I said, the market is balanced until we actually take those areas out, and in order to take those areas out, we'll have to see some pretty decent momentum and strength in the other markets as well. Off the open, 28 to 30 is an area where it's the most aggressive area of support. So if that area is holding, that would signal short-term strength, and the market can go up and retest 36.75 to 39 and 42 to 44. On the downside, a break below 20.5 to 23 would signal weakness and bring the lower support areas into play. We'll have to be cautious at the 15 to 17 area because it's immediately below the overnight low, and if the market is breaking down below the overnight balance on strong downside momentum, then 15 to 17 may not get much of a response, and we could go lower and test 08 quarter to 10 quarter and 03 half to 05 half, and these are better spots for responsive buyers to be active. And on the downside, responsive buyers can jump in at pretty much any zone. So 08 quarter to 10 quarter could be an area where we get a response. 03 half to 05 half is a more conservative area for buyers to step in, and ideally you don't want to see the market going below 03 half to 05 half. So if yesterday's upside move is really going to have a chance of remaining intact, then you don't really want to see too big of a move on the downside, because in the event that you do start getting a bigger move on the downside, it would invalidate yesterday's buying, and it can result in liquidation. So in that case, we can go lower into 97.75 to 1900, even the prior VPOC, and 88 to 90. So we're just going to be gauging the price action below 20.5 to 23 and see whether it is liquidation and signaling the possibility of a reversal of yesterday's move, or whether it's simply a normal pullback and balancing action. And even on the downside, keep an eye on the volume, because if the volume starts drying up on the downside, then that would limit the range potential of the day, and then the market can just continue balancing and going sideways. So right now, the big picture context is that the market is still stuck in a range, very much balanced, but within that balance, the buyers have been more dominant. So we'll have to see some better signs in order to short the market, and by default, we will expect the buy side to be active and defend support. So off the open, just keep an eye on 28 to 30, 20 half to 23, and just keep in mind that in order to go higher, we are going to have to see some strength across the board. NASDAQ, Russell, the underlying internals, the NYC tick, we are going to have to see some decent strength in order to take out the initial resistance zone and the 42 to 44. That doesn't mean that the AD has to be extremely positive in order to take this out, because the previous close is right around 30. but it does have to be in positive territory and trending higher in order to take out these resistance areas. And until then, it's a very balanced market. So those are the main ideas heading into the open. Let's see at this point if the buyers can continue to maintain control, and if they do, then there could be a breakout attempt that takes place today or later on in the day or tomorrow. So those are our main thoughts. Let's see if the buy side can maintain control here, and we'll take it from there.